Well, every time when it comes to innovation and surprise, there is one individual who has delightfully surprised us, and there is one company which keeps on innovating with the entire manufacturing strength and capability. So I'm talking about Bhavish Agarwal, the individual, and Ola Electric, the company. They've raised another round of new fundraise at a time when in general we are using the word that it's a winter for startups. So in a winter time they managed to raise capital from marquee investors. It's a clear endorsement of which way the company is moving and how the sector is evolving. So Bhavish bhai, so nice to have you back on ET Now. Thank you for joining us. It's cricket season and I could say that you hit six right on the first ball.
No, Nikunj, wonderful to be back with you on your show. And हाँ cricket चल रहा है हम सब देख रहे हैं but this is India's EV moment. This is festive season also. अभी just नवरात्रे खत्म हुई है and we announced this fundraise. It's very exciting that our investors are continuing to very significantly back our strategy and our vision for electrifying India. And also consumers are really putting their money where their mouth is. This time festive seasons for EVs has just been through the roof. Even compared to last year, we've grown more than 2.5 times. So it is really festive season, and India's EV moment is here.
Everybody is talking about a winter in the startup world. The fundraise is getting difficult and even impossible, but you've managed to raise 3,200 crore. New backers or the existing backers are giving you more?
So this round is a mix of equity and project debt. We have a lot of new investors coming in. We have some of our investors who have long-standing relationships with us doubling down on us. For example, Temasek, they have doubled down on their investment. SBI has given us a very strong backing for the cell gigafactory. So all in all, it's a round which is going to really accelerate our momentum into scaling up the automotive business, the whole two-wheeler business, as well as accelerating our gigafactory execution. And we will be the first company to commission a full-scale gigafactory in India, and it'll also be a very large gigafactory. Our phase one is going to be 5 gigawatt hour. And eventually, in that same premises, we have plans to go up to 100 gigawatt hour, which at that scale will be one of the world's largest gigafactories. So we are very excited. Our investors continue to back us strongly, and there's a lot of execution you'll see from us in the days ahead.
Let's spend some time. The ring of the fact that an Indian company is setting up a gigafactory in India. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, this is truly in sync with Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar India.
Yeah, absolutely.
What gave you the thought of setting up a gigafactory? Because setting up a gigafactory is no mean feat. It requires a lot of upfront capital. Yeah. It is something which is a long gestation project and requires a lot of technology adaptation. How will you crack the code?
See, our group, Nikunj, has always focused on technology. Every large group has their own core ethos, and we are focused on building technology-oriented businesses. And as we've gone along our journey, we started with consumer internet, then we went into electric vehicles, and now with energy and energy storage. We have always focused on building cutting-edge IP and technology in-house instead of licensing technology from outside, and also setting up large-scale manufacturing facilities. And this is very important for the future of our country, where you mentioned our Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat and make in India and make for the world. So India is the largest country in the world now. We are the largest by population. India is in such a sweet spot in terms of growth. The whole world's exuberance, youth, energy is all in India. So it is our moment to really build technologies of the future. We cannot just build commodity businesses. We have to really build technology-oriented businesses. And one of the major needs for the future generations is going to be the future energy technologies. On that note, if I just go a little deeper into energy used to be a mining and refining paradigm where people used to dig wells or dig under the oceans for oil and refine it. But in the future, energy is going to be a technology paradigm with material sciences, with chemistry, with physics, ion-based innovations. So that is where India can really lead the world again because of our knowledge economy and because of our talent. And that's where we are looking to lead the Indian energy industry into the future.
When will the first commercial production from this gigafactory start? How many batteries you think you would be able to manufacture, and will it just be restricted for your own consumption initially?
So we're starting off with a 5 gigawatt hour plant. That's phase one for us, and eventually over 4 phases we will take it up to 100 gigawatt hour. That's our plan. 5 gigawatt hour we will more or less consume ourselves, and then as we go from 5 to 20, we will start selling to other automotive companies in India and even outside India, and also deploy our cells for other applications like grid storage and home storage. And I want to remind your viewers also that Ola Electric was selected as the highest allocatee of the government PLI scheme for advanced cell manufacturing in India. So we've been given a target of 20 gigawatt hour and incentives against that. So we are starting with 5. We will scale up to 20 very soon after that. And at that point, we will also start selling our cells to any other automotive companies, as well as deploy them in energy storage across the country.
The general perception is that in India it is difficult to make EV batteries, or difficult to have the gigafactory going, simply because of our dependence on raw material. And whether we talk about supply chain or we talk about dependence on China, that I think is the big cross which is a realistic concern. How do you plan to overcome it?
See, there's a lot of myths that get perpetuated because sometimes, in our public strategic discourse, we don't really realize some of these new technology domains. If you look at the supply chain of cells, most of the lithium, these are all lithium cells, right? Most of the lithium does not originate in China and is not controlled by Chinese companies. A lot of it comes from South America. A lot of it, the largest supplier actually is Australia. And lithium in general is a mineral which is very abundant in the Earth's crust. It has to be explored more and refined and extracted and refined through better technologies. And we are seeing all of that happen. We've had discoveries in India, even though they're early, but we will see a lot more discoveries across the world for lithium. It's not a rare mineral in the Earth's crust. What China does have a control on, because they started early in this EV game, is the midstream processing of lithium. So they buy lithium from around the world, not just from their own mining companies in other parts of the world, but from other Western companies, other companies. They buy the lithium, bring it to China, refine it into midstream products like cathode material or anode material, and then ship it across the world. Now, our strategy is to go deeper with ecosystems like Australia. The FTA that Indian government has done with the Australian government is going to be a very big enabler for this new energy ecosystem in India, because Australia is the largest exporter for all new energy elements like lithium, graphite, even a bit of nickel, manganese. And eventually, after we build our gigafactory, we will also be looking to upward integrate with partners into the core midstream of this industry. So there's a lot of work ahead of us, but if we do this well, if we partner with the right global partners across the world, we can build an alternate supply chain to China and have our own supply chain security for the future.
This is October 2023. Let's say hypothetically we are talking again, which I'm sure we would be, in October 2028. What would be the mainstay for Bhavish and his group of companies? Will it be scooters? Will it be the mobility business, or it could really be the entire battery business?
Nikunj, that's a very interesting question, and I'll on this note take a little bit of a broader view. I believe, Nikunj, that our generation is really lucky to be really destined to build India to the #1 economy. Like our Prime Minister says, right, it's Amrit Kal. By 2047, we have to be the leading country, leading economy in the world. And I think we have everything to enable that. Our generation really has to work hard, and वो हमें तपस्या करनी है ताकि अगली generation lives a life of surplus and of more balance. But हमारी generation को वो मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. And the future is not just about building commodity-led businesses. The future is about technology. And technology is not just about only digital technologies anymore. That's one big area of technology, but there is so much breadth in technology application now. There's digital, there's space, there is electric, green technologies, there is new energy technologies, there is AI, new silicon technologies. There's so much to be done in the future. And the country which really जो future technologies पे महारत हासिल करेगी country, उसी का future है. And our effort as a group is to really build a few large technology oriented businesses for the future. So we have our consumer business where we're the largest ride hailing company in India, very profitable. We have our EV business now where we're the largest EV company in India, and that business is growing very, very fast, and happy to chat more about our scooters and all. Then we are setting up India's first largest lithium gigafactory, and we will continue to build on top of that momentum. And we've also recently launched a new company in the AI domain called Kritrim. And Kritrim means artificial in Sanskrit. So I'm personally very excited about what we're going to do in the Kritrim domain. So we have a lot of exciting projects, and all of these are very important towards building the future of the economy and future of business.
So I'm going to change gears and take a cue from your answer, which is the scooter business. I guess one word we both understand is we are talking about this year, Bhavish, is climate change. And I think the impact of climate change is that ice has started melting. And I think that clearly seems to be the factor at play when it comes to the entire two-wheeler market. The data what we have seems to be indicating that Ola has sold one scooter in every 10 seconds. And Diwali, Dashera was dhamakedar and Diwali will be dhamakedar.
Absolutely, Nikunj. The consumer is ready to end ice age. Forget whether Ola or the ice players are ready or not. Consumer ने अब ठान लिया कि अब future electric है. हम आप किसी भी बड़े शहर में, छोटे शहर में, गांव में जाके पूछो, सबको इलेक्ट्रिक के बारे में पता है, and सबको इलेक्ट्रिक खरीदना है. They're just waiting for the right product or the right moment or the right financing, etc. to tie up. And it is a absolute tsunami of electric in interest and the conversion in the consumer mind. And this was represented very well in this Navratre and the Dashera period. We had a very bumper sales. Even compared to last year, we sold almost 2.5 times, despite not being very, we didn't do any advertising or anything, but we sold a very large number of scooters. And we've also expanded our product portfolio over the last, 15th August, we announced a much broader portfolio for more price points for consumers to adopt EVs and EV scooters. So our forecast on EV scooters continues to be very excited, very bullish. And, just like the dinosaurs went extinct, this time the ice cubes are finally melting. And unless the ice folks, if they only make noise like their vehicles, they will just be stuck and become like dinosaurs. It's time for them to adapt and move forward with the times.
Climate change, Bhavish bhai. That's what climate change can actually do to the world. Ice will start melting.
Yes.
What about the affordability factor? What about the government, flame schemes, which in a sense have helped the entire EV space? The EV space was nascent. It got a push from the government, and that made affordability better for the customer. So Indian customer always believes in one simple mantra: Sasta, Sundar, Tikau. What happens when a level playing field will be created?
See, Nikunj, globally, the EV industry has had a lot of encouragement and support from respective forward-looking governments, because it's a major technology transformation and disruption. And these changes happen with a lot of initiation from the government. If you look at any even technology disruptions before, even the semiconductor industry in the US started out of their defense industry, and a lot of support was given from DARPA and NASA eventually, and all the whole semiconductor industry evolved in the US, many decades back. Similarly, the EV industry, be it in the West, be it in China, and be it in India, has started with its kernel of support from the government. And to that extent, I feel the Indian government has been the most progressive and visionary in the world to really put a very good architecture of support and encouragement for EV manufacturers and consumers. Now, it's now getting to a stage where the industry is maturing. We have been consistent in saying that the tapering off of FAME is the right thing for the industry now. Already you can see last 6-8 months, there has been a tapering off, but the industry has not slowed down. Those players who were only, let's say, trading in the EV industry have gone away, but technology-oriented players have sustained and grown. And you will see that even more in the future. So we actually support a slow tapering off of the FAME incentive. And the government has a broader scheme around PLIs, etc., for EV manufacturing, for cell manufacturing, which again encourage future-focused manufacturing industries in India. We are part of those schemes. We are very appreciative of the visionary implementation of these schemes by the government. But in general, I think the industry is getting to a stage where it would not need the FAME subsidy in maybe another year or so.
So, according to you, what currently is the EV market share in the total two-wheeler basket, and 3-4 years from now, how large it could become?
If you look at the overall two-wheeler, including scooters and motorbikes, the EV penetration would be about 6-7%. But if you look at only the scooter, because in motorbikes, we still don't have any credible products. And our motorbikes were announced 2 months ago. We will be bringing them towards the end of next year. But if you look at only the scooter penetration of EVs, it's actually getting closer to 20%. And in some cities like Bangalore and others, it's actually touching 40-50%. So in scooters, I feel the EV penetration is absolutely at the edge of a very significant takeoff. And if you look at how EV penetration has grown across economies in the world, let's take China. Once you get to 10, 15, 20% in a particular category, then from there to much higher is a very fast journey. Because आप consumer का भी mindset सोच सकते हैं, जो scooter खरीद रहा है, अगर आज उसको दिख रहा है कि यार almost आजू बाजू सब लोग EV खरीद रहे हैं, एंड अगर मैं आज आइस खरीदूंगा तो 4 साल बाद तो मेरे आइस की रीसेल वैल्यू 0 है. So the ICE products in each of these categories, as EV adoption increases, the ICE resale value is going to drop off a cliff, because EVs are going to make it so much more redundant faster. So the ICE industry will see a much more bigger shock as the EV penetration gets closer to 20-30% in each category. And scooters, it's already there.
Well, it's that green plate which matters, whether it is scooter, motorcycle, or whether it is a car. The green plate represents the EV, and that in a sense is the future, and that is where the comfort, I think, is coming. First it was more like an experiment, now it is becoming more like a mainstay. So can I say that for Ola Electric, especially the scooter business and the motorcycle business, the big years actually would be 2027 and 2028 and beyond, because that's the time you need critical mass, operating leverage will kick in, and the minute you reach 15-16% market share in any category, then the entire scenario and dynamics changes.
So our operating leverage is kicking in even now, Nikunj. Last year was the year of investment for us. We invested in a big factory. We invested in 1,000 stores, company-owned stores across the country. And we invested in scaling up our supply chain. And this year, after we've launched all these multiple products, we've gone from only the S1 Pro to the S1 Air, now the X Plus, and the X is going to come out next quarter. So the leverage is starting to kick in very significantly. We are seeing same store sales go up. We are seeing our factory giving a lot more output for the same kind of investment. Year-on-year growth is very strong, and this momentum will continue into calendar year 24-25. So we actually feel calendar year 25 will be a very strong year for EV penetration in general, where even the whatever limited naysayers there are will kind of vanish. It will just become ICE will become the exception, not EV.
I'd like to draw your attention to a concern, and a very valid concern, at least for Indian cities, the pollution. According to data, out of the top 10 polluted cities in India, it's unfortunate, India has cities. Do you think EV adaptation is perhaps the only way forward, or maybe one of the way forward where you can really control pollution? Because every time I speak to some of your peers, they are saying the following: cars don't cause pollution, construction causes pollution.
If you do a pollution analysis, Nikunj, and there have been a lot of reference studies by Indian institutes also. Pollution is a combination of multiple factors. A large part of it is vehicular pollution. There is others also, which is construction pollution, but which has its own management techniques. Like Bombay is now starting to do ways of managing the dust and the particulate matter from construction. And then energy generation also has its own contribution. So the most impact we can have to urban pollution actually is vehicular electrification, because vehicular pollution is a very large part of urban center pollution. Then extending that into overall national scale pollution, energy generation is also very critical, and we as a country are moving ahead very rapidly into renewables. And the combination of renewable production and electric vehicles, as well as energy storage in the grid so that homes can be powered by renewables in the night. These three things will really lead to a much significant reduction in particulate matter and pollution. In addition, we do have to solve for construction pollution, etc., but those are more the smaller long tail items.
So, Bhavish bhai, if I say that Ola or the Ola group is nothing extraordinary, but it is based on very simple principles, which is identify the need of the society, which could be scaled up, leverage it, and deliver it better. So whether it is your transport business or mobility business, or whether it is the scooter business, or whether it is the battery business, you've simply identified the needs of the society, you've leveraged it, and you're delivering it better.
Nikunj, itna clarity se to maine bhi kabhi nahi bataya. But you have said it very well. That is our ethos. We want to build technology businesses for the future. And the exciting thing is, when you're building technology oriented businesses for the future, you can find a lot of societal need for it. And Ola as a group, one of our core strengths is technology, and another core strength is execution. We really know how to get things done fast and get things done at scale, and get them done under budget and at quality. And we try and replicate that across all the initiatives that we do.
Before we wrap, Diwali is round the corner. So everybody wants to know what are Bhavish Agarwal's plan for Diwali? Only mithai, naye kapde, or everything else?
अच्छे कपड़े पहनेंगे, मिठाई खाएंगे, दोस्तों के साथ, परिवार वालों के साथ थोड़ा खुशियां शेयर करेंगे, और बिजनेस पे फोकस करेंगे. This is going to be this quarter is a very exciting quarter for us as a company, as a group. We've launched our scooter business continues to scale very fast. I spend a lot of time in the factory just making sure we are ramping up the factory well. Our mobility business is doing well. We are focused on electrifying ride hailing in a very big way. Starting with the two-wheeler segment, we've made a very big push to electrify two-wheeler ride-hailing as well as two-wheeler logistics across the country. And as a group, we can bring both the ride-hailing and network part of the requirement, as well as the electric vehicle and the cell. So we have all kind of capabilities to achieve electrifying of commercial vehicles across India. And you'll see some very exciting announcements from us in the AI domain also. We are looking to build India's own stack for AI compute, starting with the AI and then the infrastructure and also our own silicon design. So we have a busy time ahead for us as a organization.
Final question: if you have to send a Diwali gift to some of your peers, promoters of companies who currently are still in the dinosaur age, what would you send them as Diwali gift?
हाँ, देखो, दिवाली खुशियों का त्योहार है यार, तो मैं I don't want to attack below the belt, but I'll send them one of my electric scooters. Maybe it'll inspire them to make their own.
What would you like to receive as a Diwali gift from them?
No, just best wishes. Yeah, I think this industry is not about one player. The future of electrification in India, for India to become a global EV hub, and we all as an industry need to strive for that. Everybody has to push towards that ambition, and it's not about either or. I alone can't do it. Everybody has to be along towards that ambition, and it's a nation-building ambition. India can become a real answer to the world instead of China in this journey if everybody puts their shoulder to it.
Well, it's just been so inspiring to track your journey, and every time I interact with you, I mean, personally, I learn a lot, and I'm sure viewers also get a lot of key takeaway in terms of your clarity of thought and where you're taking this entire company. So I'll wrap the show by extending, Diwali wishes on behalf of everyone from Team ET Now. Have a wonderful year ahead, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Nikunj, and happy Diwali to all of you too.
Thank you very much, Bhavish bhai. It was lovely.